Well, I mean, you can speak to someone about AS and you can speak to someone about running.
But not together.
Not together, exactly. Not together. Or you can speak to people about AS and other chronic illnesses and things like that. And there's a lot of similarities and things, but not quite the same as AS. So no, I'm looking forward to it. And
nothing like that good spinal fusion happening in that lower lumbar.
Absolutely, while trying to run it off.
Exactly. Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Runnah, your favorite local running community. I'm Juliana, and this week we bring you an international guest who is coming from us internationally from Hong Kong, but is very relatable to me specifically because not only are they a runner, they're an ultramarathon runner, and they also have a same condition that I have, ankylosing spondylitis. And we have Lewis Askew, coming to us from Hong Kong, who is an ultramarathon runner with ankylosing spondylitis, or we're just going to call it AS, probably going forward, my friend.
Probably for the best.
Yeah, there's no point in saying it over and over again. But Lewis, I'm so excited to have this conversation with you because, like we were talking about before, I think we've collectively been able to identify maybe like 3 or 4 other ultramarathon runners who have AS potentially on the globe.
Yeah, I mean, I think recently we found a couple of like quite high performing ones as well. But other than that, it's been few and far between.
Yeah, it's very hard to find other people. I mean, like, I don't actually know anyone in personally that has AS. I don't know about you.
No, neither do I.
And
I mean, it was one of my reasons for getting on social media and trying to connect with people, because I was sort of like, okay, AS, great. I mean, I've got no idea what this is and how this is, how people live with it. My doctors told me something about it, but what is that? What is the reality of that?
Yeah. Did you also kind of go through like a denial period too, where you're like, that can't be it? Like, I don't think that's it. Because I know with my rheumatologist, he did like the HLB27 gene test on me, plus like all the physical symptoms I was having. And he was like, yep, you have AS. I was like, I don't think so. I don't know about that. Like, this seems like a ruse to me.
Yeah, well, I think I was it was like, because there were so many other things they thought it was before that, you sort of just go, oh, okay, AS, sure, whatever that is, let's see if that goes. But actually, every single time they said it was something, I almost wanted to latch onto that and go, please let it be something quantifiable that, that has some sort of researchable diagnosis, medication, something there so that I can do with. So yes, there was half of it was like, oh, okay, here we go again. Let's try 6 months of whatever this is. And then the other half of me was like, please just let the uncertainty be over.
Yeah. What was your diagnosis journey like? Because I know for me personally, like the shorthand was that I have had like joint issues my entire life, essentially. Obviously, we know now there are a couple of other like chronic illnesses at play. I have EDS. I have some other things too. But like, I hit my knee on the ground when I slammed it hard, and then it just like wasn't healing. And my whole body was like on fire essentially for like, I want to say 9 months. And then I got the diagnosis, and then I got on a biologic, and then we're kind of like in a much better zone now. But I don't know what that diagnosis process was like for you specifically, if you want to talk about it.
Yeah. So I've got 2 parts to this. One, once I was diagnosed, I looked back and pieced together some things that were not like half symptoms, but they were definitely, there was definitely a story there. So that was the first thing. But the stuff that really got going for me was I was quite new into running, actually. And maybe 6 months or a year or something, and I was getting shooting nerve pain down my right side every single time I took a step. And so I thought, is this what running is? Oh, okay. I've heard that it's this is painful. Not so much. Yeah, it's painful. Yeah. Do you have to push through I've heard the pain cave is used before. I mean, what is this type of thing? So okay, I was like, maybe I'm not strong enough. I've just come into this quite new. Maybe I've gone too hard, too fast, all these sorts of things. So it wasn't the perfect timing to get into running. And then, maybe it's a terrible association, AS issues and running, but we'll forget that.
No one needs to know that.
No one needs to know that. So yeah, the nerve pain, of course it was coming and going, with my symptoms. They're never so perfectly aligned that doctors can say, yeah, we know exactly what this is. It'll come and then you'll get an issue. So I had SI joint on my right issue, flare for a little bit. And then I had some tendon issue. And it's all this sort of, it does point to some sort of running issue. Maybe my knees just aren't kitted out for this sort of thing. So that part of it was me trying to piece together, no, this is actually something, okay, right. 6 months has passed, a year has passed. This is more than just running related. Even when I rest, things stiffen up, things don't heal, a bit like your knee and stuff. And then I was getting MRIs done on various parts, nothing. And it was only when I started getting some pain in my upper rib around here, and it would flare up, and then when I was sleeping, I would roll over onto that side, wake up in sort of a sharp pain. And that was the point where I was like, okay, this has got nothing to do with it. This has got nothing to do with anything. There's no way. This isn't
running. This is like something bigger.
Exactly. It's either a damaged rib. I got into a fight while I was sleeping with myself. Something happened to me. Like someone, I've broken a rib. I've fallen while being conscious and forgetting about it or something. So then I went to the doctors about that. They MRI'd it and didn't find anything any issue with the rib. Didn't find any inflammation. Now I'm thinking back from an AS point of view. They didn't find anything that was triggering for that. So that went away. But I didn't stop pushing at that point. That was the point where I was kind of like, okay, well,
it's something.
We're not going to just say that was
like a freak accident or
a freak, exactly.
Being weird. Yeah.
6 months of sleeping terribly and getting this pain. So I just kept pushing from that point. And that was when I was kind of self-advocating for, okay, well, I've had some issues down with my legs and now my upper back. It sounds like there's some sort of spinal or some sort of nerve or some sort of thing going on there. So let's push. I think I got an MRI on my lumbar region, and that was when they finally said, okay, these SI joints are pretty ruined.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, they are pretty well, especially my right one. Yeah, especially my right one. And from that point, then they did the blood test to confirm it, and the rest is history. But it was. And then when I look back on it, before I even got the nerve pain and things like that, there were definite signs that I was getting stiff. I wasn't walking. There were periods when I was walking a bit funny and I was trying to self-correct and there's just, there's lots of these, you'd never think anything of it. But now you look back on it, it definitely was, I think I pieced it together, and it was about 10 years from around, 10 years ago, I started having these issues. And it was only maybe 6 years ago that I really started to notice them and started to encourage my doctors to search a little bit, let's call it that, to search a little bit deeper into that.
Now, how long ago did you get your diagnosis? Because I know for me, I think it was 2019, I want to say, 2018. I don't want to say it was 2019.
Yeah, it was four years ago. So I went through about two years of that back and forth, trying to see what it was. And then 4 years ago, I got the diagnosis for it. And then I was we'll call it the biological experimentation time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There you go. That's a great phrase, what that is. 2 years of let's find what works.
I will say too, like your experience, even though it sucks, and I'm sorry that you had to go through that experience and had to advocate for yourself so much, and you already obviously know how much you always have to advocate for yourself, being someone with a chronic illness. Like, that's not a unique experience for someone with AS or any other kind of chronic illness. Like, I think I was looking at the stats for EDS, which is the other chronic illness I have, and they said it takes like the average person gets diagnosed like when they're like 28 to like 35, which is crazy.
It's a wild difference.
Yeah, like, but like having to wait that long, and like also the fact that it took you 2 years essentially, plus like so much self-advocacy to get a diagnosis past the point of like having these issues. And then obviously the biologics kind of trial and error period, which is always a fun time, because then they make you wait like 3 months every time you try one. It's like, it takes 3 months to try a new one. And you're like, oh, good Lord, this is going to be like, I can only try like 4 meds a year. Like, what the heck?
Yeah, no, exactly.
Which is crazy. But it's not a unique experience, unfortunately. And
it's not unique. And during all this time, you're in pain. There's flare-ups. There's you know, so it's not like, oh, okay, wait a couple of years and
I'll be fine.
And you'll be fine. Yeah, not at all. This is like, oh, wait a minute. Why am I in pain now? And then they search the area that's in pain, and then
like, nothing.
Sorry, nothing there. Sorry.
Yeah.
So it's it was definitely a crazy period. I call the biological period not let's find the right one, let's eliminate the wrong ones. That's more what it felt like. It was like, okay, let's just try you on the most common. Oh, that didn't work, did it? Okay, right. What's next on the list to cross out?
It definitely took me a while to find the correct one, and then I also had to like adjust the dosage too, because I take Humira once a week, and I don't know. Are you injecting weekly / bi-weekly or
I just changed to 2 weekly. So actually, I had one last week, and next week will be my first one back on 2 weekly injections.
Oh, okay. And which biologic are you taking?
Amgevita.
I don't know that one.
It's a similar Humira. It's all the same.
It's one of the biosimilars for Humira.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I tried some of the biosimilars and I failed on them. One of them gave me a rash too, which was not great.
They got me on Hyrimoz. Something like that. That was the first one I went on to, and
did you fail on that one?
Completely failed on that one. It was like
same. It took me 3 days, and then I was like
3 days.
Yeah. Well, I think because that one didn't work at all, and then like my last dose of like the brand name Humira had like fully worn out, and so like then I had like started my SI joint pain started again, and I was like, oh no.
Here we go.
Yeah, we can't.
Well, when they first diagnosed me with AS, they put me on sort of like pills, like they put me on naproxen to try. There's like a couple of weeks where while they're doing tests and stuff like that, and so they put you on. They're like, take this; it'll take the edge off the pain while we get you set up on this miracle drug.
Steroids.
Yeah, it was naproxen, and naproxen was I don't even think my stomach's recovered from naproxen. It was a horrendous 4 to 6 weeks of that. I think that was the first time I truly felt that I may have a chronic illness, because you take it and you feel horrendous.
Yeah,
and you're sort of thinking, you're like, well, I suppose this is kind of what. Maybe this sounds chronic. This sounds like this is what a life could be like, where you've got to choose between taking away the pain or
feeling terrible,
or all those side effects that I'm sure you can you can imagine. Yeah. So that was naproxen, and then switching on to Hyrimoz, I was like, oh, thank God, we're off the naproxen. This has got to be amazing. And then they said 6 months. 6 months. Give it a try.
Yeah. Yeah,
thanks. I tried for 6 months. That was a hard time. Those 6 months.
Yeah, I'm sorry you had to go through that. That's horrible. Like I understand too, because like you feel like your whole life is like, until you have to take medications to function properly. And like, I don't like, for me personally, the biggest problem is the joint pain and like feeling like it takes double the effort to move all of my joints. So like it's painful. And then at the end of the day, I'm just so exhausted. Like, I feel like I got slammed by a train, because instead of just being able to like go like this, it's like, and you just feel like you're like I feel like I'm like moving through molasses the entire day.
It's a good way of It's a good way of saying it. I think it's the way I describe it is like every little part of your body has a little weight on it. And and as the day goes on, it just adds that little bit of weight. So every little part of you, your fingers, your toes. It's not like you've got a backpack of a weight. It's like every little part of your body, is dumbbell lifting. Every little part, and then it just takes more effort. There's definitely I mean, we'll probably come onto this, but fatigue is definitely my biggest issue at the moment. It's not the pain, and that's been taken away, but fatigue is quite something else.
Yeah, it definitely can affect you in a lot of big ways. And it's something that unfortunately is not visible to anyone either. So like, it's hard to get people to think that like you're actually in pain or you're actually like really fatigued, because like you largely look okay to people from the outside, but you just feel like hot shit on the inside.
And this is the problem with AS and running. I find. I think this is the biggest problem.
It's a great transition too.
Yeah, so I do a pointing sign transition into this, that we do a lot.
Yeah.
And so people would say, fatigue as a term that most people understand will be like, oh, just stop running. Like, easy peasy. I stopped running, and after like a week, exactly, like tapers. Tapers are great before marathons, right? You taper off, and then you hit race day, and you feel absolutely amazing. When I taper off, I feel like lead on race day, and stiff on race day. Yeah. Exactly. Not even race day. If I take a 3-day taper or something, I feel the opposite of fresh. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Everything starts to stiffen up. So I think that's what I got so much from speaking to you over these times is it's someone who understands that fatigue is different with AS and running. I can feel what running fatigue is like, and it's almost like there's two channels working here. My normal fatigue and my AS fatigue, and they're not connected at all. If I stop running, that does nothing for my AS fatigue. Yeah, my legs might be a bit fresher, something or other, but actually the systemic AS starts to ramp up a little bit as well at the same time. So I think people don't understand that, because like you said, they don't see it. They see you doing all these runs, and they're like, like, surely just take a break.
Take a day off,
just take a day off. And you're like, this is me taking a break. This is me taking it easy. I am, in my mind, I'm going easy, but so that's what I find hardest at the moment, dealing with the invisible fatigue sides of it. And I'm okay to plod along, and people can think whatever they like in that way. But it's just hard for other people to understand and to truly appreciate what people are going through when it's invisible like that.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to agree with you 100% on the movement. I kind of like the movement is like motion is lotion. Like movement is kind of like the best thing for us. Like when I take time off, or like I'm in the most pain when I'm sitting still for long periods of time, and like sitting on an airplane or sitting in like some kind of place like where you can't move at all is so painful, which like is not fun in any capacity, but is like it's not related to the running. Like I can run as much as I want, but I'm still going to be in pain when I'm sitting, and I'm still going to have that like AS related fatigue when like my biologics aren't working, or I'm just having like a bad day, or like today when the weather's like really crappy outside here, like all my joints are really creaky because of the pressure changes, But I think you're exactly right that people are like, oh, just sit down, you'll feel better. I'm like, no, actually, I'm going to feel worse. And like, I genuinely have been in more pain sitting on a plane than I have finishing a marathon or an ultramarathon. Like and it's different types of pain too, there's joint pain, and then there's like running, because you are like running ultramarathon pain, which we both know. But it's hard for people to understand that. They don't get it. They're just like, okay, like just stop, and you're like, no. Like if I keep moving, I feel so much better. Like I have a walking treadmill desk, and like I have never felt better working in my life because like I can walk at like a nice low pace and just like move throughout the whole day. And my joints feel like 5 million times better than when I had an office job. Like,
Wow, that's great. That's amazing.
yeah. But like
Yeah.
people don't understand that sometimes. And it's just like, okay, like I can only tell you so many things. Like at some point you just got to show some empathy, hopefully.
Yeah, and not just like, so that makes you feel better, but it still has a like an energy price, right? So like that still fatigues you in other ways. So although it's like the lesser of two evils almost, it has its effect on you as well. You're like, well, I'm going to go up and move because I feel better, but that's still tiring. Is going to cost me. Yeah, it's still going to cost me something. Interesting. You mentioned about the plane. Actually, that was my work. That was and is my worst. God. My worst pain I've ever been in was waking up on a plane to London, going home for Christmas, and it was the first time I ever experienced SI joint pain properly, and I was on a plane, and yeah, it took me a long time to even start to talk about it again, because it was, I mean, you know what 10 out of 10 AS pain is like. And not being able to get off the plane, not being able to do anything about it, no one even knowing what it is. This is before my diagnosis, so I was like, what have I woken up into? This is not sleeping funny. Isn't it? Like when someone said, oh, maybe you're just, maybe you just sat funny on the plane. Absolutely not. No, I don't buy that. Nope.
No, this is definitely something else. Yeah. I will say, like, moving into like more of like the running side of things, because let's talk about like how AS affects our running and like how we are able to run with AS. But I feel like if these low moments are going to do anything for me, I always have a few like really painful moments in my back pocket that I remind myself about when I'm like in like the quote unquote pain cave when I'm running, or like some of my later miles in like a marathon or an ultramarathon, where I'm like, okay, does it hurt as much as when you were sitting on the plane that one time, Juliana, or does it hurt as much as like X, Y, and Z? And I don't think I've ever had a time during a race when I've been like, yes, this does hurt just as much as that. Because like my pain threshold because of AS and because of EDS is like so freaking high that like I don't think I've ever topped during a race or running, like mentally, as far as I can remember. Like some of the darkest like AS pain moments that I've had that I keep in my back pocket. I mean, I don't know about you, Lewis, but
no, I haven't. No.
Yeah,
it doesn't come close.
I feel like it makes it easier in one capacity, like running.
Yeah, exactly. In one capacity.
Yeah, it makes it easier for us to like just kind of keep moving forward because we're like, oh, we've been through worse.
Yeah, and I think we know our bodies quite well up to this point where you know what the limit is and you know what you've experienced. And so when you're in an ultramarathon, you're sort of like, well, I'm not even close to what that's like. I know where my limit is, and if I reach not my like end limit, but my acceptable limit for a race, and I will DNF if that comes anywhere near that. But it's really puts things in perspective where if it's just me needing to try a bit harder, or me needing to like push through the burn in a muscle or something like that we have much more perspective over. As long as AS doesn't rear its ugly head during a race, that's for me it's lower back pain. So that was an issue for a couple of years when I would hit some downhills and my right side would start to like really tense up. To compensate, and I would kind of get in. Not this is over dramatic, but I would sort of get in because it would tighten up that lower back on the right, and it would just mess everything else up. Then you start getting the left side really is, what's going on here? Why am I taking the whole load of this downhill suddenly? So it took me a long time to, I suppose, in more of the running chat way with AS. You have to do so much overcompensating.
It's a lot of mental work.
Strength. Yeah, exactly. A lot of mental work to get yourself there, overcompensating what you would normally have to put into running. and then overcompensating in terms of strength. So you've got to make sure that you are not only strong enough to run what you're running, you're strong enough to run it again and again, like 5 times that. So I'm training for 50 miles. Well, I need to be able to run 5,000 miles probably in a normal body capacity. That's sort of the overcompensating that you're like, oh, my back can't take it. So I need to make sure that I'm strong enough, PT, loose enough, all this sort of stuff to go. But we love it. So
yeah, it's worth the effort.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of like, I feel like you touched on like a few things too. It's like a lot of physical work, because you and I have talked about just like the volume of PT and also strength work and gym work that you have to put in. And it's just, I mean, I know for my training partner, Ben, he has in a very like generic body. He's very generic in a lot of things, and he doesn't really have any big health issues. And so like he can do like a third or a quarter of the work that I'm doing and pretty much come out with the same results. Whereas you and I, like, I mean, like we were just talking about, like I went to the gym with him and then I did PT, and I'll do a little bit more today. So like probably doing an hour to 2 hours of PT a day, never mind any like warm-ups or stretching or anything like that. Just because if we don't, like I exist in two forms. I exist as limp noodle Juliana and like buff noodle Juliana. So I'm either like really, and we talked about this too in the past too, like most chronic illness people that I know either exist in a form where they're just like not super functional. Their body is kind of just doing whatever it wants, and they have just are either having a hard time with it, or they've kind of been like, you know what, I can't do anything about this anymore. I'm just going to like, I don't want to put in the effort, and for whatever reason, like no judgment. We both understand how hard it is to put in all that effort. And they just kind of exist as like more or less like some kind of blob existence where they're just like, yep, this is how it is. Or they're like elite athlete status, or like, or just at least very muscular. Like you and I understand are like generally muscular humans. And that is because of all the work that we put in, and because we feel like it's worth it for us to do all those things. But it is very time consuming, and it is very mentally taxing too, to be like, okay, it's time for PT again, friends. We're going to do those little ankle exercises and the neck exercises and also the back exercises. And just like,
I mean, it's generally boring.
Oh, very boring. It's very boring.
So that's what I find with the PT. And it's also preventative as well, which you're in your mind, you've got to motivate yourself to say, this is for a future benefit. And when you're doing PT, that's really boring. You're kind of like, but
I don't want.
But I'm okay. I'm all right now. I don't need to do that, do I? And then obviously the wheels come off in about 3 weeks time, and then you're scrambling around to try and do PT, like, but it's too late by then. So we learned the hard way that you almost need to
be ahead of it.
Take care of the body as much as you are running. That's my timings of how much I run and how much I stretch, do PT, do not just gym, not just normal gym work, like AS specific gym work. All of that is probably the same as I run, pretty much.
I would totally agree. I think my gym work / like PT time and stretching time and warming up time is like maybe even more than my running time, to be 100% honest, because of just like how much like we have to do. And it's definitely like you said, like mentally hard to motivate yourself sometimes to do it. And I will say, like, having you, Lewis, and having some other people who are like runners who are also doing the same things as me, like that definitely helps, because I'm like, okay, at least I'm not alone. And then I can see other people who are doing it and like reaping the benefits of it. I'm like, okay, Julietta, like you got to stick with it. And then I also feel that in my body too. And like you and I also like have come up like podiumed at ultramarathons as well too. So like we have that as like proof to ourselves, like, okay, if we put in the work, like, yeah, we can actually like throw down out here. We can actually be competitive too, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, 100%. I think the one of the biggest differences with running and having AS is that the amount of time that you need to spend building up to a race, doing the race and post the race, and taking care of everything, and just keeping that in mind. Like, I think you could probably double up the number of races I actually do if I didn't have AS, just
Mm-hmm.
in purely like recovery sense, and being
Sure.
able to train, but being able to train between races as well, really,
Mm-hmm.
really well. Whereas we have to be very conscious of many other issues that even prevent us from doing anything in any given year.
Yeah. I mean, never mind like if your medications change and that kind of screws you up in a lot of ways. And like the weather gets all messed up. Like imagine like something happens with the weather and like that really affects your joints and you're like, okay, that kind of screwed me up for a couple of days. And
Yeah, it is. It's I signed up about a month ago to do 50 miles in the 50 miler in the summer, and then last week medication changes from 3 weeks to every 2 weeks, and obviously that calendar
kind of messes you up.
ricochets on. So yeah, it. I mean, these are small frustrations, of course.
Yeah,
Right?
but
It's not like it's not huge. Yeah, running is what keeps me mentally sane and
Same.
moving forward, and like races are a part of that. Even if I don't end up doing the race, it's quite nice to have something like that to work towards, as opposed to just a goal like I'm going to try and keep AS at bay for as long as possible, and that's a really hard goal to achieve. Yeah. Like, okay, what for? Oh, for 30 years. Like, great. Okay, well, how does that look each day? I don't know. I'm going to wake up and say, today I'm going to hold back. I've got this. It's too long. It's too long a time. It's much better to break it up into striving towards something, and then it just helps me mentally think, oh, okay, right. Like today I'm going to go and do this run so that I can go and run this race. Yeah. That means that I need to go and do this PT before I get to that point.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I think for me too, like one of the big motivating factors when it comes to like doing the PT, being able to do the races, obviously being able to run and being able to connect with other people like yourself and like the other people we meet out on the run. Is that like when I am out running, generally speaking, unless it's like a few select people, I'm just a regular human. Like this is my time to be like a regular person, quote unquote, and someone who like, I like, though I am like, well, obviously you and I are putting in all the work to be there, to be on that start line, to be in that running group, to be on that run. We put in the PT, we're taking the medications. Obviously some days are better than others. And some days you really feel the AS and some days you don't. But like being able to just like not take not have to worry about taking a medication for like an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever, not having to be actively doing PT in that moment, being able to talk to other people about things that like are not chronic illness related and not have to be like at a doctor's appointment or on the phone with the pharmacy or whatever it is, like having that time to just be like another human, I think for me is one of the biggest motivating factors as well. It's like, okay, if I do all this work, I get to be a regular human for like a couple hours.
Yeah, 100%. That's exactly the way I feel. I have like I do like a long run on a Saturday with my best friend, and sometimes other people that are there as well. But it's very similar. I spend the whole week trying to get myself into a good point. So yeah, exactly. Building up, like doing all the things right, so that on that Saturday I can at least have a go at appearing to be a normal ultra runner trying to chase some goals. And yeah, you're right, not having to make my whole personality AS completely. I can make it running, which everyone loves running as a personality for people.
Yeah, no one has running as a personality. I don't know
anyone. No one at all. I mean, having AS and running as your personality, that makes you a very either annoying, probably annoying person to be around. I'm sure. Nothing but running and chronic problems. Yeah, it's not a lot going on there.
Yeah. I do the same thing too, where like me and Ben usually go running at least once a week together. And I really look forward to it. And it's nice too, because like we can talk about chronic illness things and like usually we'll like kind of go over that. But then we'll just talk about running and other things and shoes and things like that, or whatever the heck is going on in our lives. And it's a time to just be a person and just not have to constantly think about the next doctor's appointment you have to go to, or the next injection you have to take, or whatever it is that's bothering you in that moment. I think it's freeing.
That's why I like trail running.
Yeah.
That for me that's the beauty of trail, because in a way that road running like quite repetitive and generally not a lot going on.
Yeah.
But
It's so boring sometimes.
trails is like meditation for me. I mean, I know some
Yeah.
people say that the road is meditation because they're in this sort of zone. They can just like stay at the same pace and just they zone out. But for me, getting up into the hills and just seeing the views, being out in nature, and you can take things a little bit slower at times as well. You can stop to appreciate a view. You can have a little think about things as you go along. That for me is huge. And in the mornings when I like commute to work, I can think, just my mind is just in such a good place. And then back from
Yeah.
work as well, up on the trails.
Oh,
By the time you get home, you're ready
you're
to
just,
do.
you're a whole other person at that point.
Yeah.
You're just like, I mean, I'm just someone also who I just like vibe with nature, and I'm kind of like leading into being like more of like a witch recently. Just because I'm like a highly empathetic human, and I started like brewing teas and things like that. But like I am someone who, like, when I'm running out in nature, I like actively say out loud, I thank the trees and I thank like the rocks and stuff like that. And I'm just like there vibing with nature. I'm just like there to get the vibes. I'm there to like be with the rocks and the roots and like the trees and just be like, thank you, my friends, for creating such a nice ambiance today. Like, what a nice time this is to just be out here and just absorb whatever this nature is into my soul. And I don't know,
100%.
I just feel that in my soul when I'm out there, and it's so nice.
Yeah, 100%. I think for me, this is what got me into running in the first place. Hong Kong is a mega city, dense,
Yeah.
populated mega city, right? And it didn't take me too long to realize, okay, I've probably got to get out into nature at least a couple of times a week, otherwise I'm going to drive myself crazy. So I started hiking and started getting into that. But it's the same for me now. I live in the city, but at least a couple of times each day, I've got to get up out into that same kind of thing, just for the mindset, just for
the air,
nature vibe.
for just like, yeah, just being able to breathe fresh air. That's just, it has plants and animals and all these other things like that are part of it. It's just, I know when I broke my foot back in December, and largely we had like a really rough winter up here on the Cape. So not just me, but like everyone was kind of stuck inside for a little while because of the snowstorms and the ice storms and things like that. But like as soon as I was able to get back outside running regularly, oh my God, my soul was just like healed on a whole other level instantly. The second because I live near the beach too. So like, even if I'm not on the trail, I live a mile from the beach. So like I am either running on the roads along the shoreline or I am like in the woods. So
amazing.
Just being able to be in nature, it just like heals you from the inside out in so many ways.
Yeah, it's a de-stressor. Like for me, it's just, I feel so much less stress when I am out on the trails for a significant amount of time, at least a little bit each day. And stress is such a big trigger, or used to be such a big trigger. Well, I mean, I'm sure it still is a big trigger. I just learned to deal with it a little bit more. Yeah. Stress is one of those things that is definitely, you can't really avoid in many ways. Like, I can't go and say to my class of 38-year-olds screaming around as a teacher that I'm having a bit of, no, don't stress me out today. I'm having one of those days, but you know, Mr. Askew, you have one of those days every day. Yeah. Don't know. So some things you just cannot avoid, but if you can try and find a lifestyle that fits around stresses, it can be huge, because AS and stress I'm convinced it's my biggest trigger is when I'm stressed. I can even feel the stiffness coming into my joints. I don't know if that's just all in my head or whatever it is, but I definitely think there's a connection there, for sure.
I don't think so, because stress overloads your nervous system, and if you overload your nervous system, it's going to start affecting like your muscles and then your bones and things like that. So, and they've scientifically proven that. So we're going to say that no, stress definitely affects AS.
Exactly. We approve this message.
Yes, we approve this message that stress and AS and other chronic illnesses also included are very directly related by stress. And
I mean, that's that's the good thing about running as well. You can actually
de-stress,
channel your stress, right? So you can, like, I would, when I'm training for something and it'll be like a running workout of the week, well, then you can be as stressed as you like in that one. You can go as hard as you like. You can go for as much as full pedal to the metal. And that's a way to also channel stress, because you're kind of showing your body still that there's this high level of stress, but then you're teaching it how to deal with high stress in something like running. I'm definitely better able to cope with high stress moments.
Oh yeah.
Since I started doing some really hard running.
Yeah. I will say, like, so my running partner, Ben, always is saying that, like, he does hard things. He's run like 88 miles is his PR right now. He's training for a 100-miler right now. But like doing the hard things he's more of a badass than I am, I would say. But but doing the hard things puts every other, like, by running, puts every other experience in your life in perspective and just makes it feel easier, because you've done, like, your brain has done the hardest thing it can think of. Like, he runs like mountain ultras like you do, but like up here in New England and Massachusetts and stuff like that. The White Mountains are a whole other beast, I don't know. But doing those things that are like the hardest thing you can possibly think of puts the rest of your life in a lot of perspective. You're like, oh, if I could do that, if I can run 100 miles in the White Mountains, then, like, dealing with this annoying coworker is going to be a breeze, like, I got this. Like, this Janet can piss off, but like, because I've completed 100 miles in the White Mountains or whatever, or like in the Hong Kong mountains or whatever it is that you're doing. It just makes life seem like it's more manageable. Yeah,
no, it's good. It's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah.
And not only have I had that hard moment, I've had that hard moment for 24 hours, continuously, all in one go. I've had a day of it, and then I haven't slept, and I've carried on. So yeah, I'm sure.
Yep. And you just keep moving, and that's all we can really do, I think, to wrap it up, Lewis, do you have any, like, suggestions or thoughts or, like, just sentiments that you might want to leave someone with who maybe has AS, who is, like, either getting into running or thinking about running? Do you have any, like, tips for them that we haven't talked about or mentioned yet that you would like to leave people with?
Yeah, I would say there's always a way to do something. So even if you have AS and you enjoy running, there's always a way to try and keep your fitness going, or try and build something towards it, so that when you are able to run, you can carry on and run. Because there are some periods of time when you just can't do it. I mean, full well, like, you just had it. You just came out of it, right?
We just lived like 4 months of that. So
yeah, and there's two choices at that point, right? You just sort of stop and you wait for things to clear up, but that's not really an option with AS. So you have to find a way, but it is out there somewhere. I mean, I was doing, when I couldn't run or couldn't do any lower body stuff, and I couldn't do any spine is a real issue, right? If your spine is messed up, there's not a lot you can do. So I was doing, like, just shoulder presses or bicep. My arms were fine. There we go. There's the one part of my body that was fine. So I was doing, like, cardio with my arms.
Yeah, like that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. There's always a way. I hated it, obviously. It was rubbish compared to what I wanted to do. But it's, as hard as it is, just try and keep doing something, because movement is the key. And I think it's the key to keeping everything going. You can still keep your body moving using another part of your body, and it must help systemically clear stuff and to work through things. So that would be my key. I spent months not knowing what to do, or wallowing a little bit, and now when I look back on it, I think, you know what, that's just as bad as some of the times now. You probably could have, you can see the sun is, like, fully come in. We are in Hong Kong summer right now, and, like, on Saturday's run, it was like 34, 95% humidity. Absolutely killed me. And it's just coming out now. Perfect time to go and do a run. But yeah, that would be my takeaway. I think I could have done a little bit more back then, but when you don't know, you don't know, of course. And so, like, that, and when you're in a deep flare or like, then obviously you can't do something.
Hard.
It's really hard. It's really hard. But you try your best, and there is a way. Even if it's an up and down flare, back and forth, there are times when you can. So try and make the best of that.
Yeah, I think that's really great advice, and I'll definitely double down on that too. Is finding a way to keep moving mentally and physically is extremely important if you have AS. And motion is lotion. Movement is really the key here. However you can move your body, do it. Whether it's like walking around, whether it's doing the arm bike, whether it's like me when I was like hitting the stair stepper like real freaking hard for like 2.5 hours at a time. Because at that point I thought I was still running the London Marathon, but we didn't do that. It's okay.
Yeah, I mean the way you were on the stair stepper, I thought you were going to jump straight into a mountain ultra right after that. I mean, you could have done it.
I was trying to find like a strictly uphill race that I could just go do. I mean, I will say it's
vertical kilometer. They must have it.
Just do like this like straight uphill, almost like a 90-degree angle. But it definitely I'm still feeling the benefits of that. Like my uphill game is still like, it's usually my stronger. I'm not good at going downhills, but like uphill is usually my strong suit, but it's definitely gotten better since then. And I've definitely been trying to do the stair stepper still at least once a week to kind of stick up on that, but I think that was really, really great advice, Lewis, and thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So let's dive into the last part of the episode, which is what shoe do you choose to use? Which you can tell me your favorite shoe of all time, the shoe that you're currently running in, or any other shoe that you think is like notable to your personal running history. But what shoe is popping into your brain first, Lewis?
So I love the new normal shoes. They are my go-to. We have talked about it actually.
Oh yes, the other people don't know. Let them know.
Yeah, let them know. I have a very wide foot.
Same.
And toe boxes and things like this are that we've been chatting about. I have a very wide foot, and with trail running, you have to toss up the smashing of your toes into the toe box versus how tight there's always something that's kind of got to give in my mind. So you either have it really tight at the top, you lace them up there so that your feet don't smash into the bottom, and then it's tight on your joints there. Yeah. Or you go for a really wide foot and then
you kind of
it's clunky. Yeah, or it's like a really heavy, you really feel like you're just running through mud at this point. But the new normal shoes, I don't know what it is. I think it might just be the lace design or something that just allows it to be wider, not for any particular reason. It's not like the ultra shoes that are purposely
like really wide.
for that reason. It's not at all. They just seem to fit, and they're perfect for short. They've got a short distance one. Keurig, I don't know how to say it. It's like a Norwegian.
Like the Keurig, maybe the Keurig.
Yeah, Keurig. Those ones are like good for up to 50 kilometers, and they're really, you feel the trail really well. And then they have the Tormir, which I'm running at the moment, the 2.01, and that will be my race shoe in the summer. That one, because it's just has a little bit more cushioning, and it's a little bit. You feel it's definitely clunkier, but I'll be very thankful after about 8 hours on this, coming into the last third of the race, having that. Considering it is a total elevation of 15,000 feet across that 50 mile, it will. There's a lot of downhill. Yeah, there's a lot of downhill. So
that's a lot of elevation.
Yeah, in my mind, I'm thinking there's ups, but also it's the downs, and that's what my training is at the moment, to try and help my back for the downs. So that's definitely, and you know what it's like with shoes. Once you have a shoe that you really trust, it becomes your race shoe. It's really hard to move away from that. Another shoe is going to have to be incredible, like truly incredible, to make you think twice. But I've tried some of the Solomon ones, but they're just not wide enough. I love them. When I try them, I'm like, this is far. I know this would be a fast shoe. It's got good tread and all that, but it's just not wide enough for me.
Same.
I want to try more of the ultra shoes. We've chatted about this. I want to try some of the. I just can't. quite justify the cost right now when I've just bought these summer race shoes. Yeah, but after that, I'm thinking let's give the Mont Blanc a go and see what.
It'd be a nice time. Yeah. I mean, I feel the same way too, where like the Ultramarathon blog speed obviously is like burned into my existence at this point. And finding a shoe for me personally that works better than that, like you would really have to come at me with something absolutely amazing. Just because of like, again, like my personal foot strike and all these things too. Like it's for me personally, it's a lot of fun. But I actually was looking at the Tormier from Normal, and I actually might see if I can find like I found one that's like a semi-used pair that I might partake in, because you have given such a good review.
Give them a try. I think with all of the tendon and loading issues and things like this that we have, when you get a shoe that has that little bit more cushion and but works and feels like it's kind of speedy, you got to go with it.
Yeah, you got to find something that works.
Yeah, we've always got to err on the side of how much bashing is my body going to take and how well is my body going to be able to recover from this. So let's sacrifice that little bit of speed. Or this is what I do anyway. Let's sacrifice a little bit of speed for I'll better wake up tomorrow morning and be able to keep moving and manage AS fine tomorrow.
Yep. We have to find that like that sweet spot of like, okay, like is the normal running wear and tear is fine. Like, like the blisters you get from like once in a while. Like
blisters are the least.
Yeah, that's the least of our concern. But like, do my SI joints and my hips and my knees and my spine like feel okay after this? If the answer is yes, we keep that. We keep that shoe. It's a nice time. And obviously, everyone's bodies are different too, and our body mechanics and how we're running is different. So like, obviously, go get fitted at a running shoe store, or at least try on some different shoes and find out what works well for you. But if you find a shoe that works, stick with it, man. Don't fix it if it ain't broke.
Yeah, and I like the new Normal. They have the sustainability. They're all for like a good like running trail running. I mean, Killian Jornet, who set it up, he's a mountain man. I mean, he is just
he's here for the best. People,
Yeah, he's here for the people, and they're all costly. But I think all shoes are pretty similar in cost nowadays with that.
Yeah,
but they're definitely trying to go down the sustainability for the trails, for the people, which I think is why people love trail running in the first place. It's not for this big corporations, although I suppose New Normal now has become a big corporation. But I think you know what I mean. It's not like we're not doing this for the rep, the style, like a Nike or an Adidas, something like that. This is trail running is a bit more about nature.
Yeah, it's about being out there and enjoying the nature of it all. For sure. Okay. Well, Lewis, thank you so much for being on Runnah. This was so nice.
Yeah, it was absolute pleasure. I loved it. So good.
Yeah. If people want to find you and maybe find some more information about all the lovely things you are posting about your journey with AS and just AS in general, where can they find you?
I'm on Instagram, the AS Athlete. That's the only platform I have at the moment. But you can look on my page there and see I've got some of my diagnosis videos and things like that, information. So you can see what I'm up to. But at the moment, somehow we're going to try and do this 50 miler in 65 days or whatever it happens to be. Now,
you got this. I know you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll train for it. You can be sure about that.
Yeah. And what's the name of the race that you're running?
It's the Bukovina by UTMB. It's in Romania. Don't try and make me pronounce the name of the village that it's set in. Yeah, I'm flying to Romania and running that. It's a 4 summits race.
Very cool.
Quite aptly for very lovely, gentle peaks. We'll call them. It's a mental game, right? They're just gentle hills. Just a gentle hill.
It's casual. It's just
casual.
It's chill. It's casual. Like we're just gonna go up and then we're gonna come down. It's gonna just
and my body's gonna enjoy the downhill really well. It's gonna be beautiful.
Yeah. It's the mental game of it all. We love it.
Exactly.
Well, I'll be staying tuned because it's a UTMB race. That means I can definitely track you, which is great.
Yeah, no, exactly. I'll be putting all that out there and stuff like that. No, it's exciting. It's the first time this race has has been a UTMB race, so
yeah,
I've got no idea what it's like. It's quite up until this point, it was not really well known. Who knows? But they have a trail, they have checkpoints, and there's a finish line. So that's all
that's all we need.
That's all we need. Yeah.
That's all we need. Well, I'll definitely be tracking you. So definitely when that race rolls around, share your bib and your tracking info with me.
Yeah, for sure. I'll
definitely track you, because that'll be very exciting. And you'll be on a slightly closer time frame to me too, because Romania is a little bit closer to my side of the United States.
Yeah, exactly. Was it only maybe 7 or 8 hours or something like that?
Yeah, it's somewhere between like 6 to 8 hour time difference, somewhere in that frame of reference. So I'll be able to track you, which will be great, because you'll be out there for a while. So. Oh,
I will. I will. Yeah. It's,
one of the joys of ultramarathon running is if you want to track someone and they're running over like a 50K, they'll be out there for like a hot minute, like you can keep track of them.
Yeah, exactly. I think I start something like your 10 p.m. You can have a full night's sleep and then wake up the next day.
You'll still be out there.
I'll still be out there, and it'll probably be a good time to start tracking me. Actually, let's see how he's got on. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Is Lewis still out there? Oh yeah, he is. Look at it. He's on the second or third peak at this point out of the 4.
Absolutely. If I finish by then, something as terrible or amazing has happened.
Spread wings, maybe. I don't know.
Wings. My AS left my body for a day, something like that. Yeah. Whoa. Wow. Look what I can do. Look what I can do now.
Amazing. Okay. Well, thank you again for being on, Lewis. This was great.
No, thank you. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah. And friends, if you would like to get any more information about Runnah or have any questions, queries, or comments for me, you can send me an email at runnahpod@gmail.com or hit me up on Instagram at runnahpod. And that will bring us to the end of the episode, and we will see you guys very soon. Bye. Thank you for listening to this episode of Runnah. This podcast is edited, hosted, and produced by me, Juliana Coughlin. Brought to you in part by the Falmouth Running Club and the Falmouth Community TV station. If you'd like to connect with us, you can find us on Instagram and on TikTok at runnahpod. And you can send us an email at runnahpod@gmail.com. And our original theme music was brought to you by the one and the only wonderful Jeffrey Hutton. And keep up the great work. I'm proud of you.